Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Glover. I'm the candidate for governor for Florida. Just want to give you a recap on last night's candidate meet and greet hosted by the Constitution Party. There were 6 governor candidates that were afforded the opportunity to come. I'm the only one that showed up. No real reason why the others didn't show up, even though they said they would. Doesn't matter. You get to these events, you get to start mixing and mingling with individuals, and everybody's interested. I happened to meet a older senator. He used to be a senator, used to be in the legislature, and I always ask everyone. I ask everybody who meets me the same question: do you know the single thing, the single law that we could address that could touch every problem? And I always get the same answer: no one knows it. But the ex-senator, answered it really interesting. He said, "Because you're asking me this question, you're also saying that because I never addressed it, I didn't do a good job." And he said, "So I'm really dying to see how you or what this answer is. So I'll give you an opportunity to present it during your speech time," which was just fine by me because I was offering out, free T-shirts, whatever. If you could just answer that one thing. This also lets me know that people don't look into you before you show up, right? So get an opportunity to tell them, hey, and this is something that's very interesting. When you're meeting people, everybody's very greeting about it. Hey, how you doing? Glad to see you running. It's a great thing. We do need change. There were certain individuals that say everything's great. It's always interesting to meet different people. But let me tell you what clears the room, what quiets the entire room down. When I start to talk about holding elected officials accountable. Let me tell you, as soon as I started talking about the lack of accountability and statute 100.361 not affording us that accountability, there were 2 other county commissioners that were running against each other in the room. And when I brought up statute 112.51, that said that the governor can just remove any county commissioner they want to from negligence doing their job, and then another one is just for him thinking that they're incompetent. When I started throwing out statute 1008.25, when I started throwing out statute 102, sorry about that, Senate Bill 102, when I started throwing out these numbers, I started seeing people pick up their phones, they're flipping, they're trying to find this information because all the people in the room did not know. These are people who are going to vote that did not know these statutes, that did not know these rules. And let me tell you, at the end of the night, those individuals that wanted to talk, they left. They got out of there because I was asking to hold elected officials accountable. Hey, when I told them, oh, by the way, when you guys give us these petitions, there is an inactive portion of that. So you need to turn those in together. Make sure that you turn those petitions in yourself so you can ensure that you're not inactive. I told them the statute, I read it to them. Statute 98.065. I'm going to read it to you guys. Defines inactive voters as registered voters who fail to respond to an address confirmation notice. Let me tell you how people will show you that they're not going to support you. Look at all these. These are all filled out petitions. They left them because they're not going to support you. They're not going to do this. So at the end of the night, after I begin to tell people, hey, I want to be the type of governor, I want to make sure that we have the type of people running this state that are accountable to the citizens. There was maybe 5 people left that were really interested, that pulled their petitions and said, hey, we're going to turn ours in. But we also want to know more about how you're going to implement this plan because it is necessary. But you're taking the hardest route because you're asking citizens to be a part of this. Now, most people running for office are asking for money. Look, they're asking for money because to go the petition route means that you have to get people that will go and turn in your petition. I told you to go to Glover2026.com to do that, but you have to get people that want to buy in. They're showing that they don't want to buy in to being held accountable. So they left it right there. What type of people are we trying to? If you're saying you have a problem, but you're not willing to put people in the seat, it means you're forcing them to ask for money. When they don't get enough from you, who do you think they get it from? Now they're beholden to corporate organizations because you're not willing to invest your time into putting good candidates in those offices. You're willing to allow money to continue to push them because coming out to you, asking you to share videos, asking you to start conversing verbally about good candidates when they know that you're not going to turn them in. I'm going to find somebody who can turn in these petitions. But like I said, how many of these people are inactive? How many of them did not make sure that that notice was responded to? So even though I will find someone to turn these petitions in that is qualified to do so, the thing is you should have shown up and validated your address to make sure that no matter who asks you for a petition, you could be there for them, because that's what we're asking. I'm asking you to get involved because I'm showing you by all these petitions in my hand and telling you that the people, when I started talking about holding them accountable, holding elected officials accountable, they do not want to be a part of that. They don't want a hand in that. And you have to start asking yourselves, why are we still electing people that do not want to be held accountable? I'm just going to say it flat out. I haven't heard another candidate, I don't care what they're running for, tell you that systematically they want to be held accountable. Because I haven't heard it, when it's time to vote, I'm only voting on amendments. I'm not putting my name next to anybody that does not want to be held accountable by the people that put them in office. Not doing it. My ballot will be blank if your name's on there. And you never said that systematically you're going to address statute 100.361. You don't even have to worry about it. And I think that more citizens need to get on board with that, because we need you to be able to hold these individuals accountable. You can have every problem you want to, but if you do not have control over the people who are supposed to fix the problem, you don't have any control. So why put them in office? You really need to start thinking about this. And let me end this by simply saying, start showing up to these candidate meet and greets. There aren't young people there. There's not. The one guy that was 30 years old, he was running for an office, Lake County Commissioner down there in Tavares. He was 30. Start showing up to these candidate meet and greets. If you hear about them, get out there and show up. Ask questions. Start listening. Because whoever you're about to elect, whoever's asking for your time, I guarantee you, they haven't told you yet that, hey, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that you have systematic accountability to me by way of statute 100.361. So you guys take some time out to think about that. Check out the video prior to this. It was me actually giving my 40-minute speech on what I want to do as governor. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.